So go ahead and tell me, what do you feel like is one of the biggest challenges of your job?
I do feel like I have to constantly prove myself.
Okay.
I was actually speaking with someone a while back. We were having a very in-depth conversation, and I was like, why do I continuously have to prove myself? I feel like if you come to me, you've done your research.
Okay.
And if you come to me and you've done your research, I'm telling you what my price is, then I don't know why I need to why there's even any question.
So I know a lot of women themselves have issues with that.
Constantly proving themselves.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
And then to be a Black woman on top of that in this industry, what you're doing, you're speaking to something that I think is definitely a common sentiment among women, especially among Black women. So it's kind of interesting to hear you say that. I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, I do. I constantly have to prove myself. I feel like it's, the ideas and the things that I share or my thoughts are being questioned. I just don't really know how else to explain it. Another thing that I do feel like is a challenge, women are not brought to the table.
Right.
Joe Blow number 1 is going to go to Joe Blow number 2 with a business opportunity. They don't go to women for an opportunity.
And it's funny because another guest, you guys know, hi Sue.
Work in these male-dominated industries, like I can be in a room right now having a business meeting and someone walks in and he shakes everyone's hands but me, introduces himself to everyone but me, and you probably don't even know this meeting is happening because of me.
Sue expressed the same sentiment, just having these issues where it's just like, okay, with me as a woman in business, it's like,
why do I have to be the person to come in to execute whatever said plan and not necessarily be the person that provide the strategy and also be your business partner?
Right.
I went to Emory's graduation not too long ago. 65 to 70% of the graduates were women versus men that were 30%. And I just find it odd that we're not being brought to the table as if we can provide some type of business partnership. If I have to circle back to the original question, what are some of the challenges? That is a challenge. But then I also have to put myself in the mind frame that I'm not going to win every account.
Right.
I'm not going to win every possible business venture. Just keep going.
Right.
That's the reason why I have survived entrepreneurship for as long as I have. If not, then I would have definitely went back into corporate or maybe work for another agency.
This ain't for everybody.
It is not for everyone. It's a lot of highs and lows that you're going to have to go through, unfortunately. But if you keep going, something great is going to happen. And as long as you learn from the lessons that were being taught, and look at every failure as a lesson and not necessarily as failure.
Experience in and of itself, I find, is neutral. It's what you get out of that. You're going to take something positive, you're going to take something negative. But experience is just something that happens. So, are you going to learn from that?
Yeah.
Or are you not going to learn from it and make the same mistake again?
Right. Yeah, that could be a hard lesson. It could be hard to do when you think about it.
Very true.
Because habits are hard to break. So with entrepreneurship comes a lot of intentions. You have to stay focused, and the people that win are the ones that are very intentional and directional, most importantly. Not just intentional, but directional. They know which way they're going.
I always ask this question. I feel like nobody asks this question of anybody, and sometimes I feel like it's really hard to get an honest answer. But are you happy?
Oh, wow. That's a question. I would say I am, because I get to live a life where I can make whatever set decisions that I want. However, I will say that I've had aspirations to be at a certain level by this age.
Okay.
I'm 42. I'm supposed to be opening up a hotel, like the W's.
Okay. I don't think there's like an age limit on when you open a hotel.
No, it's not. But I'm just
according
saying.
To your life plan.
To my life plan, and I was going to be opening up hotels across the country.
Okay.
I love the whole hospitality industry, and I love everything about the W Hotel. I love everything about just any really cool, fly, young, hip, urban hotel. I want to create something just as magical.
Okay, so thank you, Ms. Watts, for your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And guys, it's a wrap. Adios.
Adios.